Howdy ho. Let me see. The hop one. Yeah, the song just isn't looping correctly. That's not a me thing, that is that's the game. Make sure everything's good first. Also make sure that it's actually working. Make sure Twitch is doing correctly as well. Yeah, Twitch is doing fine. Alright. How was work? I had to grade other people. And then for some reason, I got a, like right afterwards, I got a call from a guy who was not a happy camper. He was very passionate about his grievances. So we had quite the discussion. It was work. Same old, same old. Booba. Indeed, it is. It is indeed Booba. This is my favorite one, I think. It's between Chizuru and Narja. I know what you said, but it was hot. Alright. Hey, Federica. Looks like you're back on YouTube. Teaser's your favorite one. That's unfortunate. The reason why I say that is because she's just not around anymore. She might come back. It's getting wallpaper? That's peak. Yeah, it is. You get it with bonding. So we last left off with Landscape of Nightmares. We took care of that one. So next up, yeah, we'll do Zero System too, why not? Captain, I've been looking everywhere for you. What's going on? What's the rush? Where even start? Well, it'd actually be faster to just show you. Come on, we're heading to isolation. No matter how many times this elevator is taken down through the pitch-black tunnel, it always feels like I'm being swallowed whole. Once the doors open, Elaine approaches Zero and begins speaking in a cautious tone. A few days ago, Zero System experienced its first bug, you might call it. Well, every machine glitches at some point, right? Captain, you haven't forgotten that Zero isn't just any machine, right? At first, I thought it was just an error. Missing data, distorted parameters, null calculations. Those were all common enough, after all. But this time, the phenomena were so tangled that it almost looked simple. The warned physics, the enemies with bizarre strength. I thought it was just chaotic data manifesting in strange ways. But Captain, there was a repeating pattern. It looked meaningless, but it was happening at regular intervals, almost like it had intent, just with a shifting form. Huh? That's when I realized it wasn't a bug. It's a signal from the chaos. The inherited uncertainty of chaos, what we call discord, revealed itself. The concept of chaos we believed in was all just a contradiction, a kind of standardized discord. I thought we were close to the truth of the universe, but now the premise itself has to be rewritten. Isn't that a bit of a leap? Most of the traits of chaos support my theory, Captain. For example, the space-time distortions inside the chaos. You've experienced them too, right? Well, there's no existing theory that can explain them rationally. That's because they're proof of the discord embedded in chaos. It's irregular blooming cycles, the way the chaos energy breaks sentient minds. It's all points to the same thing. How would it be something so simple? Discord isn't just a phenomenon inside the chaos, it's a law tied to the very formation of chaos. I might have to start over completely. If we keep studying the bugs that Zero System spits out, the Chaos Zero project might finally... Elaine, calm down. Huh? Elaine, her breathing slowed and the flush in her cheeks faded. She regained some of her usual composure. That's embarrassing. It's like I got a little carried away, Captain. Anyway, what I was trying to say is, we're facing a new kind of order. One we don't have a name for. It's still just a hypothesis. So I wasn't sure if I should tell you, Captain, but I decided to trust my instincts. This is where the truth I've been searching for is. So we had to dig deeper. I started compiling and analyzing the bug reports from the Zero System, and after sleepless nights, I finally have a lead. I don't fully understand it yet, but I figured out how to artificially, temporarily stabilize that space. If the same phenomenon happens again, we'll be able to explore it using the Zero System. Right. So, you want me to go inside the bug? Not a bug, remember? Think of it as an infinite array of chaos types derived from a bug. It might even be a form of chaos that exists somewhere in the universe. Of course, the dangers it presents is completely unpredictable. For example, if we convert this random output into a codex, it looks like this. Blue monitors flicker in the cold isolation chamber. Elaine's eyes gleam with resolve in the glow. Captain? Are you afraid? Of course, I know the expedition will be a dangerous one. Absolutely, yes. No one's ever set foot inside it before. But, if my theory is correct, this could be humanity's, or maybe the universe's, first true discovery. A historic moment like that, I want you right there with me, Captain. You'll help me, won't you? Elaine's voice is firm as she asks for cooperation, but her fingertips tremble slightly like someone asking for help instead. So I believe that was just explaining special effects inside the Zero System. That's gameplay related stuff. Did I see this one already? I don't believe I did. Let me see. No, we didn't see this one yet. The foretold ruin is still a relatively small scale chaos. However, the Sacred Sea has determined the unusual signs inconsistent with its scale that have been observed. indicating an urgent need for action. Two individuals known as the Golden Generation, along with the promising newcomer Protoss, had joined forces and entered the chaos. Judas, we got an emergency. Get over here. Christian! What's the matter, Sir Christian? Look at this. It's a picture of Azalante when she was 1 year old. Isn't she adorable? Christian, I told you not to bother Jesus with things like that. Sir Christian, I have seen this photo over 100 times already. Is that right? Well, I guess it can't be helped then. This is a picture of her 2 years old. She looks like she did when she was 1, but now she looks like me and Daphne. Yeah. I will scout ahead for monsters. Wait, where are you going? Judas, should we stick together, especially as we're part of the Golden Generation? An illusion does not shatter just because of a frivolous moment. Sir Christian and Lady Daphne. If you were to name the most famous people in the current Holy Crusaders, those two names will be the first to come to mind. They have made remarkable contributions in solving the issues faced by the Holy Crusaders from their respective positions. The union of two heroes has once again drawn the world's focus. Though, as a promising young man, I am referred as part of the same Golden Generation. I feel undeserving. What do you think about Judas? Lady Daphne. I'll just take a moment to reflect. I feel I fall short of being called part of the Golden Generation. What? You? You're Judas, the hero of Haven, the Fist of God. How could you fall short? Well, I could have said being a hero of Haven, but Fist of God is a bit much. I'm not kidding. Whether it was during exploration of the chaos or when you spent time with Azalante in Haven, watching you from the sidelines showed just how strong and principled you really are. Azalante truly loves playing a Holy Monarch. Having a chance to meet Her Holiness, often while following the two of you, has naturally made me admire her. That's a good thing. I already worry about how much Christian will go around boasting if Azalante gets elected as the Holy Monarch. Well, with the Fist of God by her side, it's not impossible. Lady Daphne. Is it not true that Sir Christian and Lord Daphne could be chosen before Azalante? No matter how much I try to help. It was just a joke. You're an innocent young man. Don't lose that innocence and don't forget what will always be with you. Thank you, Lady Daphne. By the way, I don't see the Protoss around. Oh my, is that right? We should join them before the storm hits. Let's go, Lady Daphne. I still feel that I am far from deserving of being called part of the Golden Generation. Yet, at the same time, whenever I am joined with great individuals under the banner of the Golden Generation, a determined will suddenly rises within me. If I fulfill my responsibilities with them, the flame of will I have kindled from innocent will never be extinguished. I held on to such futile beliefs, unaware of what might happen. Let's explain that he was a chill dude. Oh, Bailey is playable, that'd be so funny. She has to be playable, to be honest. I think she's gonna garner too much popularity. I am waiting for Lucia first, because they already made her sprite and stuff, so she's definitely incoming. I would say in the original storyline, I didn't care that much about her. I thought she looked pretty neat, but I wasn't like hoping that she'd be playable right afterwards. But with the rewrite, she's a lot more of a better character. So now Yeah, I want to see her playable very soon. With Bailey, I can see them not doing it, but I also don't believe that they will keep her as just an NPC, because yeah, that design's too good. Just as you said. The Chaos Energy invades Judas' body, and yet despite the excruciating pain, Judas calmly controlled his breathing. One could almost say that the will of the universe pulsed in resonance with his breath.
ジューダス様、まだ始まったばかりだ。罪は私が墓まで持っていく。オリーブ、艦船を出てヘイブンに戻れ。罪なき民間人を避難させろ。ヘイブンには死をもって罪を償うべきものだけを残せ。
Evacuate the innocents. Fuck those other guys, though. They're evil.
そして異端者ジューダスを告発しろ。そうすれば君が罪に問われることはないだろう。これは私の独断で起こした事件だ。ジューダス様、今からでも考えを改めていただけませんか。ジューダス様のような方が裏切り者として記録されてはなりません。
Instead of a response, Judas simply smiled.
オリーブ、今までありがとう。おじさんは幸せに生きてくれるような。今まであなたに仕えた言葉、人生の誇りでした。来世でまたお会いしましょう、ジューダス様。
Oli turns around and leaves the command room. Judas did not look away until the very end, and when Oli vanished beyond his periphery, Judas grabs into the arm where the Chaos Relic had settled.
貴様の正体は分かっている。ディアロス、帳の向こうの存在たちについてもだ。貴様らが何を企んでいるのかも。だがこの瞬間だけは貴様に祈りを捧げよう。
Judas's low voice resonated in prayer throughout the empty command room.
ディアロスよ、あなたの肉を受け入れます。あなたの魂を受け入れます。私を偉大なる者の隣に居合わせ。
And as if reacting to his words, the chaos energy began to squirm and spread across Judas's body, as though devouring an offering to become one with it.
私を永遠なるものにさせたまえ。
With that, Judas was swallowed whole into the darkness.
今期の上納金でございます。
たったこれだけか。下船な奴らは大した収入もないせいか役に立たないな。
Where's the money? Why are they so poor? Sir, you don't pay them enough. Ah, that's pitiful.
最近カオスが増加したため、信徒たちが動揺しています。
それがどうした？まだ文句を垂らす余裕があるのか。来月から税率をさらに上げる。死なない程度に苦労すれば文句も言えなくなるだろう。
ですが成功が。
私の管轄は私が管理する。いくら成功でも 勝手に手を出すことは許さない。
It's so funny Delos is worshipped even though he is one of the Chaos Divinity. I can see why it's funny, but I understand why. It's basically the ones who are saying like, oh, we're being killed because we don't worship the one who has the power, basically. So it's kind of like you're worshiping the powerful one just so it can grant you mercy. Stuff like that. I can see how that happens.
心配するな。殺しはしない。信徒の献身なくして聖戦は成り立たないからな。
はい、かしこまりました。
十字教、
なんだ。
今すぐ外を見てください。
Following the panic urgency of the report, the Crust Cardinalist glanced out the window, only to respond with a puzzled look across his face. Spelling errors. Across the void of space, a macabre phenomenon was taking place.
待て。あれはなんだ。
Near the ship, a halo of light unfurled in the shape of an angel's wings. After two structures, closest a distance between them, the storm of light erupted with the brilliance of a supernova. The crossing streams of light looked almost like
ディアロスの好機。
like strands of light bearing salvation. The storm of light surrounding the ship slowly drew closer to it. A spectacle evocative of divine ascension. However, the light's intent was anything but welcoming. White hot flames as though wrought from divine punishment wrapped around the ship. And as if purging impurity, it began melting the enormous ship in its entirety.
オペレーター、今すぐ回避起動を。
An unheard scream, and a Holy Crusader ship was emulated into cosmic dust. And that guy will not get his taxes. Feels bad. And across the reaches surrounding Haven, identical phenomena unfolded all at once. Consciousness settles into a quiet stillness, a darkness so black it seems to dissolve sight, and a silence as piercing as the screams of the dead. Judas's mind drifted between them. A human mind consumed by chaos is no longer its own. Emotions, experiences, memories, determination, every element that made up the person known as Judas slowly fades. That is what it means to become one with the colossal being beyond the veil. Like a single drop of water falling into a vast ocean, one's entire existence is diluted. Beyond it looms a gigantic, shimmering, ivory-colored metal colossus, their form beyond human comprehension. The god of justice worshipped by the Crusaders, the majestic agitator, Dialos. Kneel. The judge grants you a miracle. Judas barely managed to hold onto his own consciousness. He swallowed the horrific torrent of information being carved into his entire body. But it is not yet time to lose himself. Not yet. Not yet. He still has things left to do. Judas ran his hands over his own body. Linked to Dialos, he reaches for the one object that allows him to maintain his sense of self. This object is the only wall standing between him and death. He must protect it with his life. Even as everything fades away, he has not yet forgotten what his mission is. With his consciousness beginning to spread in all directions, Judas located the targets for extermination, scattered across the universe. Revolting things. Things that must be immediately destroyed. Filth in need of cleansing. It was time to pass judgment. That's good. It's good knowing what was going on once he lost himself. Alright, let's see Smug Ass. Even though the SS Nightmare returned at its fastest speed, Haven had already become chaotic. It seemed Haven and his people were already well aware of the impending catastrophe. Everywhere, streams of evacuees filled the streets in search of safety.
ルーセ教
ゲイカはどこ？
ゲイカは今大礼拝堂で対策会議をされています。
会議？誰と？
十字教全員です。
あいつらまたゲイカに会わないと。早く行きましょう。
Lost in the sauce. Within the Grand Cathedral, rows of clergy clad in ornate garments stood in orderly rows. And in the middle was Atalante, with a furious expression as she confronted the crust cardinalists.
皆さん、本当に信徒たちを捨てて逃げるつもりですか？
各地でヘイブン首脳部を攻撃しようとする暴動が発生しています。すでに数名の司祭が命を落としているらしいです。ヘイブンの中も安全ではありません。
ゲーカ、この先のことも考えてください。私たちがいないと信徒たちは誰が導くというのですか？ゲーカも避難しなければなりません。信徒よりゲーカのお体を一番にお考えください。
何を言っているのですか？皆さんには信徒を守る力があります。ジューダス教が不在の今、信徒の父であり保護者になれるのは皆さんなのです。義務を捨てて己の身の安全を優先するつもりですか？
ゲーカ、これは十字教会議の決定です。
You're the leader, but fuck you. We have numbers.
どうか私たちを導いてください。
Though they spoke with courtesy, their words was calculated and intended to place all responsibility of their escape on Azalante. Azalante grit her teeth.
邪魔ども、私たちがいなくなったら残された人々は。私はヘイブンに残ります。決して逃げません。
なぜ愚民どものために高貴な命を投げ捨てようとするのですか？
What about our followers? Fuck them. What they're basically saying.
彼らのことはきっとディアロス様が守ってくださいます。
ああ、ナイトメア号の艦長、ちょうどいいところに。どうかゲーカとここを抜け出す手助けをしてください。今こそ帝国と聖戦十字会で協力し合う時ではありませんか。
I can't help but an internal groan at the crust cardinalist's demand. I had to wonder if this was why Sir Judas wanted me to stay aboard the Haven, so that there would be a veritable witness, not from within the Haven, but from an Empire representative. Then, I guess it's time to play my part. I have a different plan in mind. You must act now to curb the chaos.
何をおっしゃるのですか、艦長。
発生したカオスはどれもヘイブンに集まってきています。早期に鎮圧しないとカオスが合体し、より大変なことになります。地球のカオスが開花した過程を思い出してください。
This is no longer just Haven's problem. It requires immediate purification. An event like this, let alone, could end up evolving into something much greater than a planetary level disaster. To ignore it and run away now, we'd likely be prosecuted for complicity by Empire law.
しかしここにいるみんなが口裏を合わせれば何の問題もないはずです。あんなものと戦うのは自殺行為同然です。
The SS Nightmare is a chaos infiltration vessel. In the face of this calamity we call chaos, the Nightmare shall never retreat. The Crest Cardinalists, who understood what those words meant, expressed their frustration.
こいつ狂ってる。私たちを巻き込むつもりか。
ヘイブンに正式な要請は届いていない。作戦を実行したいなら勝手にすればいい。
無双化じゃなくて喧嘩や。
Just then, Orlea had been mumbling to herself off to the side, raised her hand.
反則修道女会は正式にナイトメア号の艦長を指示します。
シスター・オルレア、正気か。
安息修道女会が十字教会議に反旗を翻すつもりか。
まあそういうことにしておきます。
She's like, yeah, sure.
そこまでだ。いくら帝国でもヘイブンの信徒に関する問題は我々の管轄だ。部外者が首を突っ込んでいいことではない。
Please, meddle in our affairs. Well, I'm not going to help you. Ah, stay out of our affairs. No meddling. Leave it be, and your residents will fall victim.
それは私たちが解決することだ。身の程をわきまえろ。
Ignoring the Crest Cardinalist outrage, I walk past them. I have never needed your permission to do my job. I halt my advance in front of Bailey, who had been donning an inscrutable smile while watching the events. I believe that's enough. Putting on a more relaxed smile, Bailey locked her eyes with mine. I still can't tell what she's thinking. The one who let Crest Cardinus Judas walk, that was you, wasn't it? Going by my deduction, she was the only one who would have done so. The person who could have set free a man who was convicted by both the Holy Monarch and the commander of the Silver Knights, and a person who has the authority to take command of the Crusaders now that a felon was set free. From what I know, there is only one individual capable of all of that within all of Haven. I have no need to ask why you did what you did. I won't be able to find out what she's planning given the current circumstances. However, if she continues to interfere, then the Empire would have excuse to act. This was a silent protest.
おい艦長、礼儀をわきまえろ。
Bailey getting ready to gaslight.
十字教ベイリーは今回の件と何の関係もない。
However, Bailey herself let out a sigh with a satisfied smile.
あまり支援はできません、艦長。
So, this is her response. Acknowledgement. However, despite her words, Bailey's attitude portrayed her contentment.
十字教ハインド、ナイトメア号に航行装備の支援を。崇高な戦線に出陣されるのです。誠意を込めて見送らねば。
ですが。
Bailey turned her head towards the Crest Cardinalists, who seemed to have something to say. Without even a flicker in her expression, she held onto that inscrutable smile.
失言でした。お許しを。
As the Crest Cardinalists deeply bowed their head, Bailey turned her head back towards me, as if she didn't care for their actions.
艦長、一つお願いをしてもよろしいでしょうか。必ず生きて帰ってきてください。この先も見守っていたいと思った方は久しぶりです。
本当に。ええ、本当に。艦長はその価値がある方です。
Why are you blushing? Are you actually horny? I have no intent to die myself.
あなたの進む道にディアロスの祝福があらんことを。
Leaving behind her prayer, Bailey turned and made her way to the exit, while I walked past her and approached Azalante, who had been watching the events unfold from her seat of honor. Your Holiness, I would like to request one small item from you. That's my secret. I'm always horny. It may not seem like much, but I'm sure it's something that someone holds very dear. But her body is made for sin. Luke, you seem a little out of it today. This is the first time I've seen you dozing off during the morning briefing. The commander and my brother got into it again. What? Why? We were up all night fighting over a chocolate bar. I had to sit through the whole thing. Honestly, Luke, don't you enjoy it to some extent? No way. Well, still. It's a blessing to be able to get caught up in something like that's so trivial. If we hadn't made it out of the chaos in Elvera, none of this would even be possible. That's true. We owe the Captain SS Nightmare a great deal. Only wish we could return the favor. Now you're talking, Maribel! We are the Blue Platoon. Our code says we repay every kindness twofold, and every grudge 20-fold. Well, I still haven't been able to repay that financial debt yet. But that's something we can worry about later. A real adult takes care of what matters first. Aren't real adults supposed to worry about realistic stuff? You're definitely Luke's brother, picking a fight over everything. To see the commander's dignity fall so low is truly a lamentable state of affairs. Did you actually stay up all night, Luke? The commander doesn't seem tired at all. Idiots are always healthy. They don't worry about anything. Anyway, that's what today's meeting is about. How do we repay the captain? What kind of help do we even offer? What? The Nightmare is the most advanced ship in the fleet, with a full backing of the Empire. Someone commanding a ship like that couldn't possibly need our help. Very grown up of you, Daisy. That's right. She's got a good head on her shoulders for realistic stuff. Come on! Let's all put our heads together and think of something. We can't just sit here after everything Captain has done for us. Well, we are fairly seasoned agents. Helping with chaos infiltration is something we could do anytime. Not that kind of thing. Something that would move Captain to tears, because it was so meaningful. Now you're just being difficult. Commander, realistically speaking, something like that doesn't... Wait, what's this? An incoming transmission? Commander! What was it, Lucas? Something you never expected just reaches out. Something you never expect just reached out. I think you need to take this one yourself, Commander. They said they wanted to help the SS Nightmare and asked if you could introduce them. Huh? What was it? See for yourself. Every member of the Wolf Platoon craned their neck towards the display at the center of the ship. The moment they saw who the message was from, everyone understood Lucas' reaction. Commander, Congratulations. I have absolutely no idea how someone like this ended up reaching out to us. I can't say whether it'll move Captain to tears, but it'll definitely be enough of a surprise. I like Luke, he's one of my favorite characters, to be honest. Base face is that of an insane woman, but oh boy, she might be horny as hell, but also a fanatic, yeah. It also makes it hard to read her. She could just literally just actually be horny all the time, because that just may be a symptom of hers.
あの毒蛇女にもらった装備、役に立つわね。凄まじいほど早いじゃない。このレベルなら聖戦十字会でも最上級のはずなのに。艦長、なんであの女にそんなに気に入られてるの？何かあったの
Rinoa, calm down. Surely not. It nearly rushed in response when I saw Rinoa's expression
と
turn.
にかく艦長、この瞬間もヘイブン付近のカオスは膨張し続けているわ。特にジューダス教がいると思われる座標のあたりは複数のカオス嵐の影響圏が重なっている。いくらナイトメア号でもそこを突破することは不可能よ。何かいい考えがあるの？
I do have a few plans, but each one of them comes with their own risk. Everyone, gather up. We need to establish an operation plan. Just then, an unexpected call comes in.
艦長、グリーンドラゴン号からの連絡です。艦長、達者であったか？
Beryl, why a sudden call?
紹介したい人がいるぞ。
Odd. There's a good feeling about this.
艦長、大丈夫でしょうか？心配しなくてもきっとうまくやりますよ、レイ。他でもないナイトメア号の艦長じゃないですか。それはそうだけど、見てください。あんなに巨大なカオスは初めてですよ。はい、あの大きさだとカオスの外部に亀裂を作って近づくことも難しそうですね。手法を打てばいけるかもしれませんけど、あれはカオスのコアに打つために取っておかないと。艦長は何か別の方法を。
あれを見てください。複数の艦船が接近中です。
こんな状況で助けに来てくれるような勢力はいないはず。
あれは帝国の艦船ではありません。海賊船です。
The three of them simultaneously stick their faces onto the window.
本当に海賊船ですよ。あいつら急にどうして？どういうことか艦長に聞かないと。艦長、海賊船です。戦闘準備しましょうか。
Calm down, Ray. They're here to help. Though, one of them called themselves the King of the Pirates. On the other side of the screen, a woman with crossed arms haughtily looked down on us. Quite literally.
無礼だな。正式に紹介しろ、艦長。すべての無法者と放浪者を導く者であり、征服者である7人の王の一員。自由な者、賢明な者、破滅の導き手、カオスの開拓者、巨夫かつ大商人。
Is she one of those LARPers?
星の海を航海するすべての海賊の頂点。黄金を食らう者、エリアだ。
Yeah, she is.
覚えておけ。
Okay. I'll try my best to not forget that. Someone who was standing next to Elia fervently waved their hand at Ray.
レイ、どうしました？あの人、私が助けた。
Yeah, and he's a fan.
ああ、わらわの甥いが世話になったという人は君か。褒美を与えよう。わらわの縄張りを通るときは一度顔を出せ。特別にもてなしてやろう。わらわとの会話がそんなに嬉しいのか？わかるぞ。普通の少女の精神でわらわのこの生まれ持ったオーラに耐えられないのも無理はない。
Being someone you aren't in cosplaying. That seems like a LARPing to me. Yeah. She seems the example of LARPing. Is she actually, what she call herself, like the god of gold or whatever? Yeah, the one who devours gold. Yeah. That's LARPing.
この人、見れば見るほど面白いわね。でも、それと腕は別の話。エリアさん、私たちに力を貸してくれないかしら。
無礼な物言いだな。しかしわらわは寛大だ。許してやろう。カオスに侵入する火力が不足しているのだろう。わらわが手を貸してやる。おいの恩も返すついでにね。
帝国の最新鋭艦船でも難しいのにできるの？
直接見せてやった方が早いか。オペレーター、手法の準備を。
はい。
待って、火力支援じゃないの？じゃあナイトメア号と一緒に射撃を。
支援だと？何か勘違いしているな。わらわは君たちに協力するために来たわけではない。恵みに来たのだ。
The cannon equipped with Elia's ship repositioned, aiming directly at the exterior area of the chaos. Standing from her seat, Elia extended the golden cane in her hand forward.
分かったなら、おとなしく感謝すればいい。
The sudden rush of energy was so powerful that even the communications relay began to glitch. Elia's entire ship erupted in blinding flashes, as though its systems were overloading.
エネルギー反応。エーテル砲撃です。
Elia's ship rained its ordnance directly at the chaos store in front of it. Supernova bright flames swept across the void of space, and a blinding radiance blanketed the area in all directions. The released energy was so powerful that even the SS Nightmare shook from the shockwaves, even though it was situated a distance away.
あり合わせの一撃にしては悪くない。もう少し時間があれば、より素晴らしいものが披露できたというのに。
今のは何？ナイトメア号の手法と肩を並べる射撃だったけど。
7人の王、名前は聞いたことがあるけれど、ここまでとは知らなかったわ。
Thank you, Emperor Elia.
次は正式な名前をすべて覚えてこい。今日は初対面ゆえ略称で許してやる。では艦長、わらわの家族の借りはこれで返したぞ。次会った時、わらわと君は平等な関係だ。
Why do you sound horny? And with that, Elia ended the call.
海賊船が退却します。
カオス嵐安定艦。出撃場所計算可能よ。 レイ、すごいわね。あなたのおかげでカオス出撃までの時間を大きく短縮できたわ。
私はあの時艦長がいたおかげです。私は少し助けただけですから。
Small acts of help like those are what eventually add up into something that can change the outcome. If we hadn't saved the pirates on Elvera back then, we likely wouldn't have received their assistance like this. Orleia, you asked me before how I ended up as the Captain SS Nightmare, didn't you? I remember her asking me back at the Swamp of Judgment how someone who couldn't take care of themselves could become the Captain SS Nightmare. In truth, my grades weren't anything spectacular due to some circumstances, but all my colleagues wrote in a recommendation for me. The people that I had helped all came together to shape public sentiment and build a foundation of influence for me. If it had been only one or two of them, nothing would have come from it. But when two becomes three and continues to grow, it becomes a weapon that can change results.
今までいろんな人を見てきたけど、親切が武器だっていう人は初めてだよ。
Every fighter needs their own weapon. Now then, time to go meet Crust Cardinalist Judas. Doesn't LARPing kind of imply that they know they ain't, but want to be that anyways? I guess it does? When you put it that way, you have a point. I never really thought of it that way. Does she believe her own hype, basically? And the answer to that is probably yes. Appears out of nowhere, declares herself Empress, fires big laser, leaves. What's the status of the evacuation? Your Holiness, if I may. We cannot evacuate everyone here. Someone will have to stay behind. This is the room in the flagship, isn't there? Huh? Your Holiness, that space reserved for you. Discard all necessary equipment and furniture. But those are artifacts that hold the history of Holy Crusaders. To discard them would damage the prestige of the Holy Crusaders. We cannot trade objects for human lives. I will take full responsibility. Make every effort to save as many people as possible. As you command. Everyone move. On orders from Her Holiness. Azalante's gaze drifted away from the confusion of Haven's streets and turned towards the sky. Numerous flashes of radiance flickered around Haven. Under normal circumstances, she would have taken them as sacred revelations from Dialos, but this feels ominous. It was as though Dialos' judgment had descended to blanket all of Haven. Not to watch over the faithful, but to strike them down with divine punishment. Within that radiance, she sensed a strangely familiar presence. Sir Judas, is that you? Under normal circumstances, she would have prayed. She would have prayed with all her heart to Dialos to watch over Judas. But now, with their god seemingly poised to pass judgment upon them, I'll hold out hope, Sir Judas. Even if you have already crossed the point of no return, please do not fall into the abyss. Maybe it's nothing more than a futile prayer at this point. If he is already wandering in the abyss, if he is fated to have even his death desecrated, please, let someone save him. Let this distress signal reach someone. In that moment, a colossal shadow rose before Azalante's eyes. Against the radiance blanketing Haven's sky. A ship that devours Nightmare cuts across its path, as if raising its head in defiance against the approaching judgment. As though it had heard her distress signal. Your Holiness, a message from the SS Nightmare. They say they're about to enter the chaos. Captain. A face appears in her mind. The person who always says, as if by habit, that the SS Nightmare infiltrates chaos to save the people. Picturing that face, she quietly closed her eyes. I'm counting on you, Captain. Please save Sir Judas. When she opened her eyes again, her face was filled with a new determination. There are people who charge headlong into a disaster like this without a moment's hesitation, for no reason other than to save people. Then, keep reporting the status of the evacuation. I'll personally go wherever support is needed the most. She too must keep fighting. The Holy Monarch still have people left to save. Alright, halfway through. Agents, report in.
レノア、正常に侵入完了。
オルレア、正常に侵入完了？ルーシェ、正常に侵入完了。
How was it? Try something you wanted to do.
だから子供扱いしないでって。
It seems one light joke slightly eased her anxiety.
早く動きましょう。ジューダス教の信号はこの夏早速深層部まで行くわよ。
Alright, gameplay time. I hate their cards.
準備完了です。キッサメ。待機します。くらえ。
A massive golden organ sits at the heart of the chaos. Music laced with dissonance fills the space entirely. That melody feels familiar. Do you listen to a lot of music? No, not really. Oh, it's the hymn I used to hear every morning. Is there really a hymn out of this tune? How do I put this? The two organs seem to be out of sync. Hundreds of interlocking gears turn in perfect order. I think I could figure it out with a little more work. A tough core is embedded at the base of the organ. Above it, an inscription and an unreadable script is carved. Over here, there are ancient characters written. When the golden song appears that opens the door, Discord shall kneel before order. How can you read that? It's written in Holy Scriptures. For a member of the Holy Crusaders, this is nothing. Well. There seems to be a loose section among the hundreds of interlocking gears. Let's listen carefully to the sound of the clockwork. If we mess with it without thinking, we might break it. First, let's find the part that's causing the problem. There seems to be a loose section among the hundreds of interlocking gears. Let's just listen carefully to the sound of the clockwork. It's repeating itself. Which gear needs to be repaired? Is this one. Oh, it's beautiful! As the loose gears tighten, two melodies interlock and form a single order. The group feels an inexplicable swell of emotion rising within them. Just to clarify, is that Chaos taking over the Ark ship, or did something in the ship fall into Chaos? The Chaos, or rather I should say it's Dialos, is overwhelming Haven. It's come to attack Haven, essentially. Bro, that is a lot. So I have these, I'm a weak damage dealer. Let me see.
準備完了です。待機します。指示を。準備完了。そよ風を集めて。
私の力で確実に倒してみせます。
待機します。吹きすさめ。
Oh, fuck you.
準備完了です。吹きすさめ。待機します。や。準備完了です。
慎重に。
そよ風を集めて。
手伝います。手伝います。はーい、呼びました。行きますよ。
手加減はしませんよ。
It actually doesn't matter. It's the same amount. A secret melody flows from within the eerie chapel. This melody. The hymn rings out again. As if entranced, the group followed the hymn and entered the chapel. Oh, it's you. I don't remember you showing up in the story. You show up in normal Chaos runs, but yeah, I think they brought him in for the story. Sing, sing, the blooming has come. When the golden rule sings the order, let the discord of the universe be realigned. The song of the angels echoes through the mind. The black angels, with great spears still lodged in their bodies, sing together. Bless, bless, God said, this scourge shall devour my child. And when the time comes, let the golden descent embrace all denial. Anyways, as offerings are made, a sacred light envelops the group. I'm getting rid of some bullshit. None of that matters. It's going to end soon, but yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. The group felt their bodies grow lighter as they left the dark chapel. Oh, the extension by 50%. Yeah. That lowers the value by a lot. Oh, just adds retrieve to it. Oh, this is exhaust? All this garbage.
そよ風を集めて準備完了そよ風を集めて待機します
It does not stack. Okay.
私の力で確実に倒
Yeah, I never use Owen actually.
呼びましたか
You can tell.
準備完了です喫茶め待機します指示を風は止まりません準備完了です
You don't have it.
待機します指示を
はーい
準備完了そよ風を集めて
Plan for the future, I guess.
待機します指示を
新元気が出ましたか手伝います
準備完了で風は止まりません待機します喫茶め
It's like a lot of plots, there's cards.
準備完了です待機します指示を準備完了です
From discard piles, not in discard piles. That's not worth using them.
待機します喫茶め準備完了くらえ
呼びました流れを感じます
待機しますそよ風を集めて準備完了ですそよ風を集めて
はー力が湧いてきますね呼びましたかはーい行きますよはー気をつけて
Nope.
よいしょっと
This like won't matter because we're about to end this stage. A secret melody flows from the huge organ. Following the notes, a blue light rises from an ancient monolith. The group is momentarily speechless at the magnificent sight they behold for the very first time.
もう真相部よ艦長中から感知されるカオス汚染度はかなりのレベルよジューダス教がどんな状態かは誰にもわからないわ生きている状態で制圧することは叶わないかもしれない覚悟はいい
Let's go. Our role is simply to prevent tragedy.
Judas 教そんなカオス汚染度が
すでに人間の許容範囲を超えているわ艦長休ませてあげましょう
やるべきことをやっただけ
Boss fight time. In the deepest area of the chaos, Christ Cardinalus Judas was waiting for us.
ジューダス教こ 今度こそあなたを止めてみせる。
私は平分のために腐った部分を排除するだけだ。ここまでして私に抗うつもりか、ルーシェ。
今ヘイブンがどうなっているか知ってる？いくらなんでもこんなやり方は間違っているわ。
Despite Lucius' desperate pleas, Sir Juice's eyes gleamed with darkness.
ルーセ、説得しても無駄よ。あれはもうジューダス教じゃないわ。あれがカオスレリックに手を出したものの、いいえ、カオスという力そのものに触れたものの慣れの果てね。艦長。
Yeah. Let's give Sir Judas his rest.
呼びました。全てを飲み込むか。吹きすさめ。確認します。はーい。力が湧いてきますね。溢れ出せ。準備。元気が出ましたか。
少し痛いですよ。くらえ。
呼びましたか。準備できました。元気が出ましたか。力が湧いてきますよ。
はあ、吹き飛ばす。そよ風を集めて
私の力で確実に倒してみせます。全てを飲み込む暗闇。
That was weak.
呼びました。一味違いますよ。はーい、行きますよ。
少し痛いですよ。
呼びました。全てを飲み込む暗闇。艦長、ジューダス教がさっきから胸元を守っているわ。おそらく急所のカオスレリックがあると思う。
待機します。指示を。そよ風を集めて吹きすさめ。
Sir Judas explodes in a deafening roar. And yet, even though it's carried a suffocating pressure that froze the blood running through our veins, it was a roar that was clear to all of us. The roar of a beast driven into a corner.
慎重に。
準備完了。待機します。そよ風を集めて
全てを飲み込む暗闇。元気が出ましたか。
はあ、吹き飛ばします。
全てを飲み込む暗闇。元気が出ましたか。倒したの。
I think that's a new picture? I'm not too sure. It's been a while.
ギアラスよ、私の命で平分に救いを与えたまえ。
Chaos energy explodes through every pore of Sir Judas' body. A pressure so threatening that it heaves even the environment around us. It was nigh a miracle, as if a man was denying death through sheer willpower alone.
「そよ風を集めてはあ、吹き飛ばします。
はあ、力が湧いてきますね。私の力で確実に倒してみせます。全てを飲み込む。よいしょっと。呼びました。全てを飲み込む暗闇。
I would say Girls Online 2 was more NTR than this game. Just saying.
電話しませんよ。
準備できました。元気が出ましたか。溢れ出せ。慎重に。
そよ風を集めて吹きすさめ。
確認します。はーい、行きますよ。 後味違いますよ。
タイプします。
準備で元気が出ましたか？全てを飲み込む暗闇。
そよ風を集めて少し痛いですよ。はっ、嵐は何度も吹きつけてくるんです。
Yeah, I say Ghost Frontline is more of an NTR game than
ま
this
だ
game
これ
is.
だけの力が。
Remember, son, dying is gay. That's funny. Yeah, I say Ghost Fighter 2 is more NTR than this game.
艦長、指示を。今とどめを刺さないと。
We're not here to end his life. I came here to send off a hero in their final moments.
艦長、
I pull out the object that I lent from Azalante, and I walk towards Sir Judas.
艦長、何をするつもり？
As Sir Judas charges at me with all his remaining might, I lift the object up towards him. I come to return to you something you left behind. The brooch that Azalante handed to me glinting in the light. Her holiness, she'll be okay. I think back on how Azalante openly voiced her thoughts and objections during the strategy meeting with the other Quest Cardinalists. Azalante was no longer the child who would always cry and ask for guidance. She was no longer the little girl that this man had sacrificed everything for. So please, rest in peace. I will not allow this man who was once revered as a hero to relive the nightmare I had seen. Nor will I just stand by and watch him wound the very girl he wished to protect more than anyone else. Gazing upon the brooch in my hand, Sir Judas' movement slowed until he came to a halt.
焦らんて。私がいなくても一人でうまくやっていけるでしょうか。
If Azalante isn't able to overcome something alone, I will make sure that I provide her with the guidance she needs. Therefore, all I can do is hope that Sir Judas. And so I pray. I pray with all the verity that I can muster. Please. May you find peace befitting you. Sir Judas' body collapses to the floor, and from it, the chaos energy spills outward. Then, like dust, his body crumbles and becomes one with the wind. Having long since surpassed his limits, the body sustained by shield word power alone melted away.
待って艦長、下がって。ジューダス教の体にはカオスレリックが。
No, it wasn't a chaos relic. With this man protected throughout the entire battle. I stretched out both my hands to catch the object that fell from the hero's body.
ブローチ？
It was the other half of the pair of brooches that he had gifted to Azalante. With a corrupted mind, this was the proof that Sir Judas cherished his promise more than his own life. I connected two brooches I have. What? I connected two brooches I have in my hands. Okay. I connected two brooches I have in my hands. And as if the two had always been one, they fit each other perfectly. These spelling errors and grammar errors is really pissing me off. It is so prevalent. They did not have time to do QA, I can tell. Yeah, this is chapter 5. The moment I thought everything had ended, a sinister presence crept over me. From somewhere beyond, I could hear the sound of massive gears churning. Huh? From within the disintegrating body of Sir Judas, a figure emerged. A gigantic metal colossus shimmering with an ivory radiance. As soon as the giant made its presence known, time around me came to a complete halt. And within that silence, the Titan reached out with his hand. A primal warning consumed my thoughts, shrieking that this entity should never be allowed to reach me. And just moments before those hands reached me, very softly I feel a gentle touch on my shoulder as someone pulls me away. A stifled chuckle accompanying it.
ダメ。絶対に渡さない。
Then, the giant's body instantly liquefies into a bubbling froth. The pale woman is looking down upon me.
愛している。
Thank you?
愛しているわ、艦長。
Thank you? Those words transform into an immense pressure that pushes me down. The sensation of my brain being pulverized, my flesh putrefying, and my veins filling with something thick and sticky spreads throughout my entire body.
Dakara, 私を覚えていて、どんな道のりになっても最後まで忘れないで。私はゼロ。必ず私に会いに来てちょうだい。
Oh, your name is Zero? Yeah, I thought your name was Lunacia.
そこであなたを待っているわ。艦長、しっかりして。
They're really trying to, give enough hints that Rinoa and her name is Zero are linked together. And though I tried to grasp onto my senses, Rinoa's voice was the last thing I could hear before my consciousness faded away. Maybe more common there. I placed a combined set of brooches in Azlante's hands. Azlante silently lowers her head. He kept it close and treasured it up until the very end.
そうなるとジューダス教はずっと体調がよろしくなかったですから。でもそれでも最後に一度だけ会いたかった。
The young monarch dropped her head completely. Along with the light shudder, tears began dripping from the edges of her collar. I do not intend to console her or tell her to stop crying. Not all tears are bad tears.
艦長、私は戦います。ジューダス教に恥じないように。ヘイブンのみんなのために。
As Azulante made her declaration while clutching the brooch tightly, I nod my head. People may pass on, but the resolution remains. Call for me whenever, Your Holiness. If you require aid, I shall always come to your rescue. The ship. Its appetite rivals its immense size. A vessel whose main diet is despair and nightmares. No matter when it may be, the SS Nightmare will always be ready to respond to distress calls. Two more. Incense burners, rosaries, prayers, and hymns. A place that feels like home to Bailey of the Crust Cardinalists. Beneath the light streaming through the stained glass, she offered up her prayers with quiet reverence. The miracles of Daedalus most often manifest in the form of radiance. Much like Judas' rampage that struck Haven not long ago. The radiance now emanating from every inch of Bailey's body was an exact copy, as if she were directly linked to a god. I imagine they always unsettling to look at, the gods you serve. The light is so blinding. Look at that face. She is not happy to see him. At the sound of the voice echoing from deep within the darkened chapel, the radiance vanishes in an instant. There stood a man shrouded in a void that even light could not breach, as if consumed by the abyss itself. Billy's expression hardened into something cold. If you're here to interrupt my prayers, I suggest you leave. I have no intention of speaking with someone as foul as you. Huh. Wasn't it you who so eagerly took the information we offered and ran off to test it yourself? So, what did you think of that captain? I'll admit, he's an interesting subject. She's blushing. Even the great Daedalus is keeping a close eye on him. Still, you would do well to wait your turn. The one I serve has taken an interest as well. I'm sure you will want to test yourself whether they are fit to be devoured. Do whatever you want. The flow of all things is destined to return to the majestic educator, after all. Well, people are entitled to their own opinions. Then I will see you again, soon. With that, the man's form dissolved like smoke and vanished. Bailey stared for a moment at the spot where he had once stood, then let out a scoff and closed her eyes once again. This is a place watched over by a god. One cannot afford to be careless in one's conduct. Once again, Bailey's prayer settled quietly into the stillness of the chapel. Last one. I don't think this matters though, but we'll see. I'm coming in. The door swings open, and with a rush of cold, metal-scented air, a familiar sight reveals itself. Welcome, Captain. An AI-powered chaos analyzer, Zero. A machine radiating an inhuman presence stands before me. The Zero system, tasked with chaos simulation, silently draws into its current. Zero. The moment that name crosses my mind, a chill runs down my spine again. From the pocket watch hanging at my neck, I catch the faint breath of the woman I saw before. Could it be a coincidence that they share the same name? Why the fuck did I read Lewis as Luigi? I don't know. That'd be interesting, though. She told me to come find her. I turned the pocket watch over in my fingers as I remember what she told me. She said she'd be waiting where everything began. What connection could she have to chaos? Elaine developed the Zero system as a means to eliminate all chaos. That a creation built for such a purpose shares its name with the mysterious presence that now circles around me. Feels less like coincidence and more like the foretelling of an inevitable future. You, and you alone, have been chosen. Turning those whispered words over in my mind, I gaze at the Zero system before me. Standing before the machine built to conquer the chaos, I turn over what Zero told me. That I, and I alone, have been chosen. As if what she said itself was a prophecy. Alright, and that is it. Damn. What a turnaround, man. Well, I need to check something, just real quick. This should all be the same, right? Oh shit.
ごめんなさい。
Wrong spot.
もう一度だけトイレに行ってきます。 つまり館長が見た幻想が何だったのか知りたいから予言
They did change stuff. Oh shit. I wanted to make sure because they said they only changed Act 1, but they actually did adjust the rest of the acts. Because I was wondering, because it was complete, basically everything that was in the original was not in the rewrite. So things would not have matched up at all from Act 2 onwards. But they did change it. Okay. Huh. Does that mean I have more to read? Alright, let's see the first part. We're going to see the first cutscene and see what happens. A woman calling herself Zero said she would be waiting for me. That last moment continued to linger in my mind. If she's someone I'll meet in the future, perhaps I could learn something through Orlea's prophecy. And so Orlea readily agreed to my request.
もちろん館長の頼みなら喜んで。でも特定の予言を見るのは私の力だけじゃ難しいんだ。
Voice? It's embarrassing to call this a token of my gratitude, but I thought it could help, so I decided to lend my strength.
準備はもう整ったね。それじゃあ始めようか。それでは私から始めますね。
This should be the same.
ダメ。やめて。注文を止めて。頭が酒様。
オルレア
I was about to stop chanting and approach, but Orlea did not cease screaming. She kept grasping and pulling at her hair while banging her head against the sanctuary's floor.
お願い。もうや
先駆者に死の影が差す時、神の力のかけらを食らいし偽りの創造物、捧げられた犠牲の生贄は救われることなく死へと導かれる哀れな先駆者の前に神のご加護あれ。
オルレア、起きて、しっかりして。オルレア、
オルレアは無事で。
はい、幸い命に別状はないそうです。
So I think it's still a lineup as it was before. Yeah, I saw that Luigi is the first person Luigi. So now just imagine I just imagine him Lewis as Luigi now without his hat.
一時的に強い衝撃を受けて気を失ったそうですが、
それなら良かったです。治療設備や医療班が必要であればお申し付けください。ナイトメアゴンが全力で協力いたします。
本来なら聖戦十字会がお返しすべき立場なのですが、お言葉だけでも感謝いたします。ただ、
Even back at the foretold ruin, she felt a heavy burden and was confused, but it was never this severe. Okay, yeah, it looks like they didn't have time to redo the lines.
もしかすると人間の力では解釈できない未来を見てしまったのかもしれません。終末よりもっと不可解な未来とは何なのか、今のところは分かりませんが。
Azalante lowers her gaze as if her worry hangs from the edge of her brow. Concerning the future you saw, this is indeed
お
worrisome.
役に立てず申し訳ありません。
気にしないでください。オルレアの回復を心より願っております。大丈夫よ。戻って方法を見つけましょう、艦長。
The Ouija board?
がっかりだな。その程度しか処理できなかったのか。
それは
アルキアノンの威厳を落としたジューダスがこれほどあっけなく倒れるとは。艦砲でも一発かましてやればよかったものを。
はあ、
Firing a cannon's right at the leadership wouldn't be easy. Yeah, okay, so they did change up the lines. But they didn't have time to dub or redub everything. This at least lets me know what lines were swapped out and redone. The Arcanian is a hero standing at the forefront of the Chaos battlefield. No matter the situation, you need achievements recognized by others, not just a simple victory. Don't forget that.
肝に銘じます。
口だけは達者だな。
Is there anything else you wish to say? The prophecy spoken by the nun named Orlea.
大半は解析不能だったが、その中に一つの手がかりを見つけた。おそらくテラシオンから送られてきたメッセージと関連しているのかもしれない。
テラシオンですか？
そうだ。特殊事件捜査部から送られてきた協力依頼文書だ。
Okay, we're doing this again. Alright, sure, yeah, we did this part. Damn! I hope they won't keep following us. Are you so fast? Ah!
どこへ行くつもり？そんなとろい足じゃうちからは絶対に逃げられないよ。
いつの間に？やはり特捜部長をスピードで振り切るのは無理か。ならば
ユキ、俺と取引しよ
取引。
う。そうだ、路地裏の情報なら俺の知らないことはないんだ。必要な情報があるなら何でも聞け。全部答えてやる。その代わり返事が終わったら俺のことは見なかったことにしてくれ。どうだ、気になるだろ。
I think Yuki's is a lot of people's favorite designs.
ほーん、そう。あんたみたいなのが何でも知ってるんだ。全く期待はしてないけど、一つだけ聞いてみよっかな。ファーストが死んだらどうなるのか、すっごく気になるんだよね。何か知ってることある？
ファーストが死んだら
3秒あげる。
Compelling points of massive personality.
そんなの知るか。そもそも取引する気もなかったんだろ。
Yeah, she looks like someone who's like super hot, but you can still take seriously. Me personally, my favorite is Chizuru. In terms of character design.
今から数えるよ。3。
くそ、人をからかいやがって。それでも刑事かよ、チンピラがクズ野郎。
2。
びくともしない。
1。
Oh, you come! Some guys appears that took everything. Damn, who are they? Right, the jewel are just sitting there. How could you let them take it from you in plain sight? Hey, Julie Box. Oh, so it really was you. I'll give you 1 second. Want to explain properly? What are you saying? It's still ours too. They took it, saying they'll take it to the chaos. Just what kind of jewel is it for them to want it so much? Even without knowing what's inside the jewelry box you got stolen? Then there's no reason for me to go easy on you, is there? She's coming! Everyone focus!
うちに守ってもらちゃんと見てなさい。うちのバット、うちに守ってもらえて肩慣らしといこっかな。じっとしててね。バット、うち引きちぎってやる。バット、引きちぎってやる。バット、引きちぎってやる。逃げられるかな。ああ、もう捕まったね。はい、残念。
どうして一瞬で。
はあ、つまんない。どんな言い訳をするか読めるやつって面白くないんだよね。
来るなって助けて。死ね。あれ、どこ行った？確かポケットに。
ポケットに入れてたナイフのこと？ここにあるよ。ほら、うちの服の中に。完璧に隠したつもりかもしれないけど、路地裏のことなら知らないことなんてないんだよ。
ちょっと待って。助けてくれ。誰か助けて。
そんな大げさにしないでよ。これくらいのいじめじゃ死なないって。これからたっぷり取り調べしてあげるから覚悟してね。
Yeah, so she killed her. She killed their homies, and now he's being tortured in the streets. I kind of want to know what's up with this, but I got what I needed to know. I was very curious on if they changed up anything for the next chapter, because it was, or next act, because it was gonna be like extremely jarring for new players to do the rewritten story, but then go into like the old at and see that nothing lined up. So, seeing that they have went into the effort to do that, that does change up my review some. Alright, so let's talk thoughts. Because, as far as I know, this should have been the last of it. Yeah, it should have been all of Chapter 1 and Chapter 5. There shouldn't be any more dramatic changes. So, overall, I would say this was a dramatic, a very dramatic improvement from the original storyline. The original storyline was so garbage, I actually wanted to stop reading it, but I kept doing so just so I can have a full understanding of everything that's going on. And there's some hope towards the end. With that secret epilogue that they laid in there. But it was completely divorced from everything. I can't think of a single thing that has not been improved except for like a couple of things. So let's start with the things that I didn't like. The first is the dramatic amount of lack of quality in the spelling and the grammar. This can be fixed over time. It can be quickly fixed, but the fact that it's so prevalent everywhere is pretty damn annoying. So hopefully that is fixed. That's like the biggest thing by far. And the second one I would say is more contentious. I'm leaning towards bad. But at the same time, it does line up with what we know happens in the rest of the act. So basically, this might be better in hindsight, but I am not happy with what we're losing, I guess you can say. So there's a trade-off involved. And that's with Rinoa. In the original story, Rinoa was much more competent, and she still is in this version. But in the revised version, the captain is significantly more competent. So, of course, naturally, she kind of loses that role of being the one who is in charge of everything. So, I kind of get why she is now not as competent as she was in the original. But she also seems regulated to just being the cheerleader at this point, if you know what I mean. She is there to stand there and glare at other girls. And then, without a moment's hesitation, talk about how awesome we are. I bet you she would even blurt out that the captain has a big dick. If given the opportunity, with how much glazing she did throughout this entire rewrite. We might even have two of them now. Yeah. But, like I said, it was done in hindsight as well. Assuming there aren't any dramatic changes in in Season 2, which is where you go on the planet Spites, her behavior during that season now lines up a lot better with how she is written in the rewrite now. It lines up perfectly. Because it's also shown that she's not as competent either. and she's not nearly as respected as the captain. Now, I do wish that she could retain her reliability, but yeah, given how they wrote her, unless they wanted to rewrite the entire story that they've written so far, which at that point, why did you bother making season in the first place? I think this is more of a necessary change. I still don't like it that much, but I like the overall package that we got. And I think as far as dislikes are concerned, I think that's about it. Everything was like either good or fire. Easily the biggest change was with the captain. The captain 100% is way better than he ever was in any season, in any of the stories but beforehand. You can tell that someone else wrote the captain for the rewrite. Like, it was on like an entirely different team. It was definitely not the same writers. Which kind of begs the question, what's going to happen in Act 5? Or Season 5? When we get the new girls. Like, is it going to be with those new writers, or are we going to go back to the old ones? That's one thing that kind of worries me, but I'll go into that a bit later. Yeah, the captain is a huge plus. We get to know more about. Well, first, one thing I dislike, but it's a trade-off that's necessary. I feel is that now he's a complete amnesiac. Well, not complete, but he's more of an amnesiac than he was before. So now he doesn't remember people, and he doesn't remember some important things about the universe. He just knows about his own history and his role and his motivations. That all plays into his time skipping, or his time abilities that he's got, and that is affecting his memories. So that still plays a role in the story. But of course, you know, amnesiac protagonists are a dime a dozen in gacha games. And the fact that he's more of one now, it's but it's a necessary trade-off, because I will have to admit, explaining things to him so that the player knows what's going on is a lot better than what they did originally. So I think the trade-off is fine. There is a plus side to it. Otherwise, the fact, like, if you just ignore the fact that he's an amnesiac, the captain is more of a character than he has ever been before. It's funny, like, he got some of the most generic traits in this rewrite, but somehow he's more of a character than he was originally. Because he has his motivations, he has history, actual history, and he now has proof as to how his method works, which is using kindness as a weapon, and he has showcased it with him getting friendly with pirates. And it also explains his reluctance to save lives, because he is super motivated to do so, as he feels like that's what he was born to do. To essentially save the universe. And none of that was in the original, by the way. Like, all he really had in the original was that he's like the top of his class in physical combat, which didn't fucking matter. And then his most consistent trait was that he was a dumbass. It was literally that. So, complete 180 with the captain, perfect. Judas, the main villain of these 5 chapters, is... I feel like he was fine before. I didn't really have a problem with them in the original, but they said, fuck it, let's make them way better. And they did make them way better in this version as well. We now know, actually, I say they gave more space for his backstory and let it develop more. And now we know a lot more about his troubles. I was like, damn, Judas is literally the only good male villain that we have so far. Every other male villain that they wrote in the past was some generic dude that was evil, and they unceremoniously died. So they put in the new writer, the new writing team. They put in a lot of work with Judas, and I hope they continue doing so, because Judas was very good, extremely good actually. Good first villain. Bailey is a good addition. A very good addition. We don't know a lot about her, but she's basically acting as the link to keep Haven relevant, pretty much. That's what I got from it. I'm also assuming that she is an avatar, Dialos, which is why she's so horny for the captain, because it seems like all of the gods want a piece of Captain, pretty much. And it may be that Zero just happens to be the one, Zero the goddess, may just happen to be the one who caught hold of the captain first. And yes, I do believe Rinoa is the avatar for Zero. It's just too obvious. Lewis becoming a more mysterious figure, I think that's perfect. He definitely showed up way too early, and you can tell that the writing had to maneuver around him in order to keep the stakes, pretty much, because he was friendly to everyone first, and then they turned him into a villain towards the end. That way, he was no longer an ally. It's just better to just not have him there in the first place, pretty much. So I like that as well. What else? Honestly, there's so much good shit that I can't list off everything. Oh yeah, Chapter 2 being way better. Chapter 2, not the worst chapter, but it was a pretty bad chapter. Complete and total facelift. I say that was the biggest improvement alongside the captain. If I have to rank it, the captain is the biggest improvement, and then it's Wolf Platoon and their debut within Chapter 2. So I already explained why Chapter 2 was so bad, so I don't want to go over it again, but with the way how Wolf Platoon was introduced now, it was so multifaceted. Because, well, first of all, it showed that the captain is actually not perfect. Because he allowed Ray to continue on with them, even though he noticed that Ray was being triggered. Like, really emotionally triggered. And it eventually led to the point where she got so scared that she got trigger happy, and she killed someone, and that caused everyone else to be killed, and therefore Captain had to reverse time in order to change things. Now, if the captain was actually infallible, that wouldn't have happened in the first place. But since, well, I guess you can say he trusted Ray too much, he had to go back and fix the mistake. And we also saw that reversing time willy-nilly caused his brain to hurt really badly. So there is a cost to reversing time, and so he has to be perfect but we have already seen that he's not perfect. So that's one thing that I really like about that. Rey showing that the captain is still human, pretty much, and also Will Platoon pretty much being written to take the situation seriously and not like be the dumbasses that they were in the original. It was all very good writing, and also it's put down a solid foundation and friendship between Will Platoon and the SS Nightmare. That was fantastic. Is Captain basically doing that anime meme with the various gods and characters falling behind them? Yeah, pretty much. See what changed all stories events? I remember most of it, to be honest. Yeah, so I was far enough what changes that there were as I was going through. So basically I would just be reading over it or watching over old stuff again just to verify. But I basically remember the majority of the old storyline because I had to do videos on them before. Like from top to bottom, there's basically all changes because even the in the prologue with the scenario about the SS Nightmare's crash on Blue Pod with a dysfunctional time stream, they just got rid of that storyline entirely, which is good because they dropped it anyways. People stopped wondering about it from season 2 and onwards. So it's good that they got rid of that portion. I do like that Zero is a thing. I do think having gods more involved is a good thing because they're so prevalent anyways, and they're so heavily involved in the gameplay. I think it's a good direction to keep everything harmonized. Other improvements is Azalante, Lucia. I thought they were good characters still, but they're even better now. I am glad that Chapter 4 got a complete and total revamp. No Owen getting possessed by a book. And then almost killing the captain. Because the captain decided to do fisticuffs with Owen. And almost dying. That was easily my most hated chapter out of everything, and it still is. So the fact that they rewrote that entirely, so good. I hated that one so much. And yeah, they fixed up Chapter 5 as well. Maybe not fix, because I think Chapter 5 overall was pretty fine. It was probably the best part, besides the prologue. But it was the best part of the Judas arc because it was the actual finale. But the way how it was built up in the story rewrite is a lot better than it was here, because in the old Chapter 5, you had Azalante show up out of nowhere and say, "I'm here to defeat my dad," and stuff like that. And Judas like, "Oh, I'm dying now. Azalante's here. Alright, I'm good." Ugh. Yeah, so it wasn't great. It was fine, but it wasn't great. The new revamp story for Chapter 5 is great. Yeah, to be completely honest, I don't. It's very hard for me to see anything bad about the story. I have thought of one thing though. I'll put this in a negative category, but your mileage may vary. The Captain Glazing. The Captain Glazing is on overload here. In the revamp. It's not just Sonoa, it's everyone. Ray's glazing, Mika's glazing, Tressa's glazing. Beryl's glazing, though she has a good reason to. Lucia's like, hey, do you want to stay in Haven with me? And Alea's like, you're so heroic, and I'm too sleepy to say it, but I want to bang you. And then Renoa's already frothing at the mouth. So, that said, he has earned it more in this story revamp than he ever did in all of the previous seasons. But glazing is still glazing, and there's still a lot of it. They probably could have toned it down some. Oh, also Bailey too. Bailey out of nowhere, out of left field, she's like, you're super duper ultra important. I want to suck your dick. Yeah, I guess doing too much is better than too little, though, considering what the complaints have been in the past. But at the very least, I can say that he earned some of that glazing now. So now, I'm done with praising the story. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the rest of the acts. Because we did verify that in the next act, it made things connect between Act 1 and Act 2. But I'm very certain, I'm going to rewatch the entire thing just to make sure, but I'm very certain they aren't going to change a lot going forward. They're probably changing just enough to make things make sense between Act 1 and Act 2. If that's the case, then we're back to having dumbass Captain for Act 2 and Act 3. More Act 2 than 3, though. Season 4, Captain's okay. I wouldn't call him a retard in Act 4. But 2 and 3, absolutely. Not even a question. So that is still going to feel very jarring, going from this revamped story over to the old stories, where they did not write Captain Will at all. There was a fundamental misunderstanding. Mom didn't have the brain cell this one. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely let you guys know what changes they made, because yeah, I am going to make sure that it's very thorough. And I have all of the old footage as well, so I can make those direct comparisons if I need to, if I notice anything is up. So I'm really wondering, once we get to the new season, will they have the same level of quality that it showed us here? I really hope so, because I really enjoyed reading this story. It was up there with some of the best that I see in the gacha game. Yeah, so I'm really hoping that they keep it up. This was, I won't say it was worth their weight. That's a little much, but I'm not disappointed. And I was expecting to come in only being somewhat mildly satisfied, but I'm actually blown away with how much things have improved when it did the revamp. please keep this level of quality. The drama was there. I think that was what I was looking for. Just the drama. I really wanted it to be some very strong drama, and it was there. What were those boxes with numeric labels? Boxes? Could you describe more of that? Will they fix the rest of the story? Yeah, I hope so too. They showed that they're not afraid to adjust some things without announcing it to us. But yeah, I hope they did do a bit of touches, some touches, just to make sure that the captain stays in character with what they established. When dumb captain returns, yeah. Oh, the ones that warned that the captain may not die. Ones that warned that the captain may not die. The boxes with numeric labels. Yeah, that's not coming to mind to me. The boxes with numeric labels. What cutscene was that in? Was it in Epilogue? Yeah, I hope that they they do a bit more touches in the next acts. Season 2, Season 3. The caskets. Was it in the... I know that there were caskets, but was it... It was in here that we saw that. So it would have been during the Chaos runs? Let me check the stream, actually. We can grab it that way. YouTube does have a rewind feature. Here I have a non-Cesian question. Will we continue the PNC story reading as well? Or did we wish to see an only part? We have not wished to see an only part yet. I do want to continue PNC. The issue with PNC is that no one watches that with me. It was like on 9 people. So it's a lot difficult for me to justify that. Especially since I have to narrate everything. Like, there's no voice work whatsoever for PNC. So it's hard to justify when I can just read it by myself. And just make videos instead. One of those are mankind's answers to the gods, or... Well, as far as I know, the gods are all worshipped. Delos is worshipped. I believe Kyrkin is worshipped as well. Yeah, dude, you're one of the people. 1 of 9 people. Which I appreciate. I don't think the other gods are worshipped in that sort of... Well, besides Chaos itself. So... There's like 3 gods that are worshipped. When we get season 4, 3 weeks from now. Here, let's change this up. It's actually very difficult to get the stream up because for some reason YouTube is not working right. So I can't even look at the moment to see what you're talking about. I'll have to check off stream, I think. Cutting Profit. Because I am very curious on what we're talking about. I just don't recall seeing boxes with numbers on them. Yeah, because in the Chaos we see the Black Angels. And we see clock towers. But yeah, I don't see the boxes or the caskets. Do you feel this game is free-to-play friendly? That's a difficult question to ask because it depends on what your definition of free-to-play friendly is. So the question is, can you get every character? The answer is no. You'll probably have to skip every other character, unless you pay. Yeah, Narja is honestly a very good character. This is Narja, by the way, that's on screen. Narja is a very good character. They're just the massive mistake of not making her the focus on the final act of Season 2. I don't know why they decided... Well, I do know why they decided to do Serenial. I just think it was a mistake. Seem pretty Greek-coded with how their moves tend to change. The Chaos Gods... Well, let me show you what the Chaos Gods are that we know so far. There's not a lot of info on them because I didn't do all the stuff yet. I have been slacking on them because these do take a while to do. But the archive, we currently have 4, technically it's 5 now. He doesn't have an entry yet. But Dialos, Sekret, Kirkin, and Nihilum. Kirkin seems to be the one that has favored us the most in the past. But now it seems like that's going to swap to Zero, pretty much. Zero is going to be the one that favors us the most. She is our Lunacia. We have Sekret. Sekret is the one who turns people into plants. We're already learning about Dialos. And Nihilum is in Season 2, and Nihilum is basically an asshole, pretty much. By asshole, I mean that's like he's just extremely neutral. His only job is to like, or his only role is to just turn everything into nothingness. That's like all he really gives a fuck about. And really the only thing he wants is to get the captain. Just so he can have the power to do that. That's basically it. Now, surprisingly, even though Kirkin is so prevalent in the gameplay, she actually hasn't made an appearance. Well, she did at the super beginning of the game, but she wasn't really talked about much in the main story. So I'm wondering if, just going by the designs of the season 4 characters, I wonder if that's going to get into Kirkin. I think she would fit. I'm not gonna lie. Especially now that we actually don't see Kirkin in the prologue anymore. That was taken over by Zero. I think the demon just called Oni. But I don't believe that demon is a god or anything like that. It's just a really powerful chaos being. But in Chihiru's culture, they're called demons. And not chaos monsters. And Rika, I just read your comments. Yeah, I understand that people enjoy the PNC streams. But yeah, I think for this one, just to get the full honesty here, full transparency, it's a lot of work streaming Girls Online the way how I do, which is narrating / voice acting everything. So it's I need more justification, I guess you can say, to do that on stream when I can just do it off stream and make a video instead. The Office of Naval Intelligence. No, not that Oni. But yeah, it has been a hot minute since I did Season 2, so I'm looking forward to just reading it over again, just to refresh my knowledge at the very least. But yeah, I know a fair amount of you guys said that you're now going to play Chaos Nightmare because just of what you've seen here. I'll give you guys some pointers before I start closing out with the stream. The game's a grind. I believe the biggest issue it has now, because they fixed the story, the biggest issue it's going to have now is just the time investment you're going to need in order to get a good amount of progress. They have made some strides to fix that, or to curb that, but at the end of the day, if you want to play a full run of something, it's going to take at least 1 hour. especially if you're new. And if you want to make some good progress, you're going to have to like dedicate some time to it. The reason why I play the game, besides the story, that's better now, has always been the gameplay. And the gameplay is really, really fun, but the game, as Federico says, is still really grindy. And I say it's even worse in the beginning, because you have the game like Captain level 35 just to unlock everything, or is it 45? I think it's 35 or 45. And I know that was a problem for some people, because I actually advised a friend in real life to play Chaos Hero Nightmare, because he saw Narja on screen right now. He's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I told him about it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm playing that." And so he talked to me like a couple days later. He's like, "Dude, it takes forever getting done this game." So yeah, I'd say that's probably like the biggest roadblock that new players are going to have. Just dedicating the time to get things done. And yeah, we do have limited amounts of auto runs, and that does speed up a Chaos run from like an hour to 20 minutes, if less than that. But there's no way to speed up sorties, and sorties are the best way to get those editing materials for your save files, I guess you can call them, your save slots. Chapter 1? Oh, is it back in Chapter 1? Damn, okay. So that's not even part of this stream. Chapter 103. Oh wait, no, that's for 5. That's 2. Oh, are you talking about the altar? Yeah, are you talking about the altar? It wasn't in this one. It was an This is Eye of the Storm. Yeah, you talk about the altar then. The altar is a new thing. That was put into the yeah, that was put into the revamp. It was never in the old story. The idea behind that, that one seems to be based off the Chaos Order, because the Chaos Order is still on the blue pod, which is Earth, and they're also in other areas. That has to deal with them trying to use Rinoa as a sacrifice, but something stopped them. Probably Zero. That's the theory for now, though. So 5104, I am going to just double check you. What you're telling me. That way I know that we're both talking about the same thing. Especially since you gave the timestamp, I appreciate that. I just wish that my browser was a little bit faster when I'm streaming. $51.04. Ah, this one. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, I can go ahead and bring this up. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, I see it. What a loud bastard. Yeah, so this is what you're talking about. Yeah, this is what I'm about. We can't allow the pros be sacrificed. This is just a guess. This might be the Zera Empire. Yeah, because this doesn't show up at all in the old story. They're saying 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And in the middle one, I assume it's 0? Because we do know that they kind of do like an Arknights type of thing, where, you know, Priestess and PRTS. We do know that there is 0 and the 0 system. We might be doing something like that as well. But up front, I can say I don't really know what this is. I can only give some conjecture. Since this is not within the old story at all, there's nothing that can really be gleaned on in hindsight. This seems like a new concept. But my best guess is it's the 0 system. And then my second guess is it's the Zera Empire. But with us establishing that Rinoa and Zero are linked together, with the more than likely relationship being that Rinoa is the avatar of Zero, this could just be Zero talking through Rinoa, perhaps. Is the captain a proxy? Yeah, he's our proxy. He's a self-insert, remember? But no, it's for whatever reason they haven't explained this yet. But the captain has like a special power that the chaos itself wants. But Rinoa's always so horny, yeah. Unsettling? The only thing that's really unsettling to me is their wound on her chest. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I forgot one thing that I wanted to talk about. That is the life cores. The life cores were such a huge fucking issue in the original story, because they got rid of all stakes pretty much. So in order for them to make stakes, they always had to write off the life cores either breaking or somehow the character that dies didn't have it. I don't know why they made light cores in the first place, if I'm completely honest. I've always thought they were a really dumbass concept. That, it makes sense as to why they would go for it in universe, but in terms of story, it caused a lot of problems. It's something that could not be ignored. But now with the way how they wrote it, especially with how it affected Rey in particular, where she lost her memory of her younger brother, who's dead by the way, and her younger brother served as like a motivator for her to become an agent. That was really powerful writing, and it showed just how much dying still sucks, even with the life core in place. So now I'm a lot more accepting of the life cores because of the massive drawbacks that it has. And Elaine even said that was one of the more lighter side effects. The real side effects is actual brain damage, where they could become a vegetable for the rest of their lives. In which case, you might as well be dead. So now I'm much more. I can still see the stakes in all the stories, and I'm much more lenient on light cores being involved, as long as they don't ignore what they established with the side effects moving forward. Which so far they haven't. Whenever someone dies, the captain tends to rewrite or rewind time anyways. Or someone rewinds time, not just the captain. Zero because Subi becomes kind of observer. Observer? I don't know, she's been getting involved. Like, especially when a giant chaos monster towards the end, Dialos, was trying to grab the captain. And she was like, fuck off! And apparently she also got involved in Season 3 with Tenebria. So I wouldn't call her an observer. If she is an observer, she keeps breaking the rules for him. Protoss are artificial human? Are you asking if Protoss are artificial humans? I believe they're modified humans. They keep jumping back and forth between them. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just modified humans now. They're not created in like a test tube or something. Now, in the original writing, the answer would be yes, that Protoss are artificial humans. But in the rewrite, they got rid of some things that confirmed that they're artificial humans, so I think they backpedaled from that. I'm pretty sure they're just modified humans now. And that would also make more sense because since the success rate for Protoss is still like on the lower end of things, they're still seen as highly valuable, and they can't be sacrificed willy-nilly, pretty much. And yeah, Narja is like a fake Protoss, as you say. She does have the same basic Protoss abilities, but they're unrefined. Okay. Yeah, I've done a lot of yapping, and this is an extra day to finish the story, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I know some people asked last stream about Nikkei. I don't want to do Nikkei until all of the content is out, so that I can blow through it all at once. You know, do it back to back 2 days. I feel like that's a better format than doing part 1 and then wait a week and then part 2. The Super Tojo, yeah. But yeah, Nikkei is next. I would say we can do Nikkei next. As far as Chaos Ignite is concerned, we'll see what happens when season 4 comes out. I may stream the story now that it's good now. Let's see if they keep up the quality. I think that'd be a good event. So, you guys take care. I will see you guys next time.